Welcome to season 4 of the VoiceCast. We are back. I think we've been gone for several years now, but we're super excited. My name is Pastor Sonia, and with me I have Pastor Kaimana.
Hello.
And I have Jari.
Hey.
And I have Michael.
Hello.
We are joined, we will be joined this season with several of our volunteers, of our staff members, just to have some serious conversations. The title of our series is called, or our season is called TVMA. So actually it's like
Spicy.
The Voice, Mature Adults. So it's like, supposed to be a little bit extra.
Catch it. Yeah, you did try. Didn't happen.
No whistles.
Not the whistle.
Can you not whistle?
There.
Oh,
okay.
that's good.
Good job.
But it wasn't.
That's the
Don't be
redemption
afraid to
round.
get close to the mic.
Can I?
And
Okay,
make
cool.
sure that
Get
people
really
hear
close.
us.
Cool.
Because then it's going to be horrible. Kind of the way this series began, honestly, it's because of these. Does these look familiar to you guys?
Oh, prayer cards.
These are our prayer cards that we've been praying for the past month for our ministry. And we pray for them on a daily basis. Our staff does. And then looking through a lot of them, it turns out that a lot of people are struggling with sexual issues.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Sexuality,
Yeah.
addiction to pornography, all that stuff. So I asked Liz to gather all of them. And just to kind of keep in mind that this is why we're doing this, to have these conversations, because there is breakthrough that people can have,
sure.
and we are not the kind of ministry that is afraid to talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting a little hot and heavy. If you have any sort of, the pregnant women are already hot. Also, not even the non-pregnant males are already hot.
Pregnant men are already hot.
But we will be kind of having a ton of questions. And obviously, if there's anything that you want to ask us, you want us to discuss on this season of The VoiceCast, please email us at thevoice@faithassembly.org, and we will answer your questions.
Yeah. Cool.
Here we go. I want you guys to finish this sentence. We can't start off too serious. That's a little bit too much.
Okay.
Finish this sentence. No one can beat me at...
Laughing.
Science.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Science. Not even science.
Laughing.
No
is
one
good.
can beat me at laughing.
Like
wanna
the
beat you
amount
at laughing.
or the volume,
I would say
the quality.
all of it. And stealing people's jokes. I feel like because I'm always
You
laughing.
steal jokes. Okay.
He
Because
does.
I'm laughing, like I will laugh over like a joke that's said in the middle of one joke, and when it transitions to the next joke, I'll be like, "Oh my gosh!" And then I'll just like
And you
repeat.
just steal it
I was like,
without
guys,
any
you
He says it
remorse.
louder.
But I'll
like-
just say it louder, and then
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, that's so
Wow.
funny, Michael." I'm like,
Like
Wow, but he
I'm
tries
confused.
to do
So
it.
if she's
He tries to
talking...
steal.
Like, I'll be
and
like,
then she says a
"Why
joke,
the chicken
it's
cross the
funny. Then
road?"
she says another joke,
"Yeah."
and then you're like, no
And
one
then-
hears it, so then you're
I
like,
didn't
hey
hear that.
guys,
Says
yeah.
it again.
Hey guys.
hey
Yeah.
Kaimana, have you ever
And then
heard
that's the
blah,
face
blah,
that
blah?
she makes.
like this.
Wow.
And then everyone's dying, and then she's mad? You don't
she's
even
like,
wait for
"I
another
said the
conversation.
joke. No.
Or give her credit. Like, no, I said
It's
Johnny said
thievery.
that.
Actually, repent. That's a
No,
sin.
it's been I think
Stealing.
It's been long enough like amongst our friends where like
It's just
like we just like, no,
understood?
we have to give credit where credit is due. And so I
Okay.
feel like I've gotten better at it.
Whatever. In his own mind. No.
But I still Kara's jokes a lot sometimes.
Is it because,
Kara.
do you think you're the
Kara's
least
funny.
funniest person in your group?
No, I just enjoy laughing so much that I want more people to laugh.
Do you think he's the least funniest person in your group?
I think he's
Don't
the least
even.
funniest.
You think so?
no.
Michael.
I mean, I get
You laugh
I gotta
at
laugh at you all the
everything,
time though.
but you don't make anything like you're not the creator of
You
the
don't
laugh.
create.
Well, because I think
Yeah.
Joel
Everyone
is used to
assume,
being
Michael.
like, a, hey, so are you? Or like,
Yeah, he's
hey,
the
hey, hey,
Fonz.
like everyone,
Like, Joel's
whatever.
I can't
Fonz.
completely disagree with you.
And Kara's hilarious.
Kara is
But
hilarious.
having a good sense of humor is important too.
Yeah, we carry
or
the
else
jokes.
the jokes
You
don't
need us.
land.
That's true.
Right.
Like
You know,
watching something
I've done-
with
Where would
Michael,
where would
you
your
laugh
jokes land if you didn't
more.
have a huge target?
Right.
But not just
But-
that too. You know how to pick up what we put down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because then like mission strips or what, I'll say
Yeah.
something and you can build on
Yeah.
it. I don't have to sit there and
He's a
dissect a
Cheerleader.
joke.
He's a cheerleader.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he could take it to a new level.
He's
Yes.
a cheerleader.
Sometimes
But-
too far.
Sometimes, yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
So
That
no
was
one
your
can
laugh.
beat you at laughing.
Okay.
For sure.
No one can beat me at.
I think for me, I think it's a game of wits. Like I'm pretty
Yes.
clever. So if you say
Yes.
something,
So like quickness.
oh yeah, and I'll go with a comeback
scary.
like in 2 seconds.
It's kind of
Scary.
sharp. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like
I'm
like,
scared
whoa.
right now.
yeah, like I didn't like I would not want to
Ouch.
be in high school or middle school with Jari because
true,
I
yeah.
probably like I'd be like this small.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, not well. Yeah, sometimes, but
Yes.
but I mean, like that's like BC, like before Christ child.
Right.
Yeah.
BC.
Because
But, like-
the game of wits could be like, you feel like small now, but like
Yeah.
because I'm so fast. But now it's more so like I try to be funny.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
I've
I like
filtered
that.
myself.
Good
But
job.
I've seen you defend yourself, like in just public, like when we worked together, and you.
Oh
would just
yeah,
defend
we
yourself
worked
just-
together in a restaurant
And I was
for a while.
Whoa, I was like, Jody can hold her own.
Yeah, you gotta be. You gotta be. We
Don't
were
mess.
waiters. You
Don't
gotta be
mess.
like.
You got
quick
tough
with
skin
it.
and quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta be quick on your feet as a waiter. So, yeah, I'm pretty quick-witted.
Yeah, I agree.
I love that.
Yeah.
Pastor Colin.
I don't think anyone can beat me at office quotes.
Oh.
Wow.
No one.
I want to try.
Everyone
Secret
thinks they
is in the
can.
onions.
Really? Not even
But
squirrel?
No. I've said office quotes before to him, and he's been like, "What?" Only like maybe once or twice, but I still feel like I know it the best.
Wow.
Wow.
The
No
challenge
No one
is like
cares
rising
about
up
that.
in
I
you.
know.
Like,
I know. I'm
I
like,
know, but I
Are
really
you that
like.
much of an Office fan?
I'll say
I do enjoy
stuff-
The Office a lot.
Yeah,
But she's making me wonder if I
like I'll say
like,
things in front of Gio all the time, and
And
I'm like,
it's-
"What's that?" And I'll be like, "Oh, you don't get it.
It's an Office quote.
I can pick
Get
up
it,
on maybe a
Pam."
couple of
Yeah.
them.
That's funny. I believe you. I'm trying to like rack my brain.
I don't know if I've watched it that much more than everyone else.
Maybe you just have a good reservoir, like your memory.
She does.
just-
She has a good
Maybe.
memory.
It's like
You
a
got the
memory
key
bank.
episodes.
Yeah, I could probably also quote like all 10 seasons of Friends.
That
Everything
you're-
is either
yeah,
Friends or
I'm
The
out.
Office quote. Like I'm like just constantly battling. Like which one?
What
do I
is your
say?
life?
Yeah.
It's either Friends or The Office.
Yes.
Oh. I think I used to be able to quote Friends better, but
Not anymore.
yeah,
I can quote
not as
some
much.
Parks and Rec sometimes. 'Cause I love
Oh
Parks and
yeah,
Rec.
me too.
Yeah.
Only with Daughtry. I didn't know you watched it.
Oh my gosh, me
A
and
lot
Kara,
of people don't like
I'm
it.
all
but
I'm
I
all
love
about.
it.
Yes.
They like
Parks and
that better
Rec
than The
stuff,
Office.
Yes.
I do like
Which
it
is
better
funny
than The
because
Office
the
now.
writers of The Office
Yeah.
wrote that, so it's like all
but
this-
it's
Yeah.
just it just hits home.
It's a little
more.
different though.
Yeah.
It is
I
different.
think it's the actors.
But yeah, I like it better.
Um,
Still
What's,
learning.
I was just thinking
yours?
like all I could think of. I was thinking of Daughtry because I feel like no one can quote Seinfeld like Daughtry, and I think it's
Seinfeld.
crazy
I tried.
how much he quotes
Really?
Seinfeld. Yes.
Yeah, he quotes Seinfeld a
Seinfeld's
lot.
over for me.
Well, it's like it's a show about nothing, but it's like funny nothing. But I'm still like, okay.
I never liked it growing up, but I get it.
There's
now.
like certain episodes I adored, and some episodes I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just weird. I feel weird because none of these are all like fun. I think no one can beat me at being anal or being organized.
I like organized.
Yeah, I believe that.
That I tried thinking,
But that's a very
and I,
anal and organized answer.
Yeah.
and I also well
You win.
because people have been like, yeah, I'm so organized, and I'm like,
You're like, nuh-uh.
oh my gosh, you're like
you
the
are a
worst.
mess.
Do you know what's worse than someone not being organized? Someone who thinks they are and they
They're
aren't.
not.
That's what's crazy.
scary.
Yeah, I'm so administrative.
But I feel like
In
the
my
second you say
finger.
you are, then
But I wish I wasn't. I just know that I am.
right. Like, but you don't walk around saying it.
No.
So I think that's what.
But I
makes
just
it,
know I'm just like when I just see people in their process, and I'm like, yeah, you're not.
Is there
Very good.
anything that like you're super organized about that people wouldn't think you're organized about?
No, I'm pretty organized about everything.
It's like, is your fridge
Like all your earrings are like by shape?
No.
Okay.
No, that seems like more OCD.
Or people are just like, oh, color coordinated closet. I was like, no,
Yeah, that seems OCD.
I have a life.
That might be like more borderline.
Yeah. I
But like
think-
people
yeah.
just, it's hard for people to think that I create things because they think that I'm just like a mess.
Oh,
But
that's
I'm like,
right,
no, I'm
yeah.
not.
Because
That should be
creative
like
people are
not-
messy.
Creatives are
Yeah.
like, yeah,
We should
like,
like not. Like I feel like creatives can be not messy.
be whatever they want to be.
Yeah, it's like saying left-handed people like are
Witches.
XYZ. Yeah.
Exactly.
They're smarter,
Like,
but
we
they live
usually
shorter
say it.
lives.
Yeah.
These
Right.
are really good stereotypes. I mean, I guess it's sad. Die early. Are you left-handed?
Yes.
Are you left-handed?
No.
No, I'm probably the only left-handed one here.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
always how it is.
It shows.
Andre? I bet you Anna's
Again,
left-handed.
I am the
That's
only
her
left-handed
exile
person
sign.
all the time.
Anna, if you're left-handed, turn our sound off. I'm just kidding. Don't turn it off. Okay. What's a food you wish would go away forever?
Olives.
Catch up.
Olives, really?
How?
All
I'm
kinds?
sorry, Daddy.
Why olives?
I just find them gross. Mainly the
All
the
kinds.
the pit the
The seed?
green ones with the
Ooh,
red
the blue
thing.
cheese
The
in
red
it?
party?
Those are
Ew.
so
No, no,
good.
cheese. No.
Kara loves them.
Daddy is like 9.5 months pregnant, so if she gives birth, this will be our first
So we
live
have
birth.
the
We will
bucket.
keep fulling. Gonna be so excited.
I feel like I could
Someone
help
boil
you.
water,
I
get
could
some
help you.
towels.
We don't know what we're gonna do with them, but we need them on
We gotta
hand.
bring them.
Anyway,
Get the Bible.
olives are gross. I don't like them.
Any kinds of
used to like
olives,
them
or
as a kid.
particularly just green ones?
I think the green ones particularly. I'm open
But
to
what about
try.
like when you see them like in rice or like
I move
mixed?
them.
It's always
Like
in
Puerto Rican
Hispanic food. Like
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
always in rice. You don't have to eat them.
you
though.
just
can take
move them
out.
to the side.
and I also know how to cook with that same olive oil flavor without having the olives
Olives in 'em?
actually in it because I
never
do
liked
not
them. I
like
was like,
olives.
why do they always put olives in this stuff?
Black olives,
I don't like them
ew.
either.
Green
I used to eat them a
olives.
lot as a kid, so then when I grew up, like I just
you like didn't realize you didn't like them, and then you grew up.
yeah, I
like,
think
oh,
maybe
don't
like before I
these.
was 5, like I ate lots of ketchup and lots of olives, like olives out of
What's
the
for
jar,
breakfast?
ketchup
Ketchup
out
and
the
olives.
bottle, and then
Whoa.
not out the bottle.
Why would
no.
it be out of the bottle?
No, I did that once
You're
to a
eating it
salt
wrong.
bottle
That's
once.
why you don't like it.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be a condiment.
that's
Yeah.
not my story there.
So-
I wasn't exposed
So
to
why don't-
olives like in a bowl, and
In
that was
masses.
breakfast.
You were overexposed.
I just ate it, and I didn't like
You
it.
have olive trauma. That is like
I think Michael just was fed ketchup and olives.
It was like I
in a
was
bowl.
tortured. I was tortured with.
Dad,
I'm
no
gonna
more,
talk to
please.
Colleen. What kind of a home
Please,
was
no
this?
more olives and ketchup.
Why did you just eat
No,
olives?
I
in
just like olives
quantities
as
like
a
that?
snack. So I remember I had a
more worried
nanny,
about the
and I would
drinking
go and I'd go in
ketchup.
the fridge and had like I'd eat out of her fridge. She had a bunch of like big jar of olives.
What does
And
that
I
have to
just
do with
remember-
having a nanny?
I remember like I don't know. Was it
Trying to like
He just wants us to
He
know
tries
we
to-
had a
he's
nanny.
rich.
This is a Dateline special.
Like we
This
were
is
rich.
like
We had a lot of olives.
there
For
was
the
a
martini
surplus.
glasses.
You see a little 4-year-old.
Did
with
your
a martini
nanny
glass
feed
just
you,
full of
like-
olives?
cocktail olives.
And like his milk, and then the little olive. My nanny, when she would change my nappy. Like, what in the world?
So yeah,
I forget that's always like not common. Because just for a little
What?
while I
Eating
had a nanny.
olives
I
in
thought
large
everyone had a
quantities.
When
nanny.
Mary Poppins took care of me, I felt like nobody has nannies.
Nannies that
Just
give
a
them
random-
olives
She
only.
was a random lady from
or-
the neighborhood from like, I don't know, Chile, I think.
So like your babysitter?
Well,
No,
she'd
she's
watch
my
me during the day.
nanny.
So she raised him.
I guess
She
that's a
raised
nanny.
him.
On olives and ketchup.
Olives and ketchup, allegedly.
So why do you hate ketchup?
It just
His
disgusts
nanny fed
me.
it to him.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, just the
You don't
smell
like it
of
with
it.
anything.
Nothing. Mm-mm-mm.
Wow.
But I like barbecue sauce, and that
That's the
And
main
that-
ingredient.
So what do you eat with your fries? Barbecue sauce?
barbecue sauce. Yeah.
Yeah. Gross.
I don't really have one.
Oh, you like food.
Food is
I was
beautiful.
trying really hard to think of one. I've never had like liver, so
Never?
maybe that would taste bad.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's like chalky. You're like, mm.
I don't think I've ever
Just
had
like
it.
that. That as
I
a
th-
flavor.
Do you like, because you're Hawaiian, do you like poi?
Yeah.
She likes
it?
everything. She has a good palate.
Oh, a palate.
Yeah, she has a palate. I'll give it to her.
I'll let you see it sometime. It's vast.
It includes olives and ketchup. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
I love olives.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Impressive.
people. Olives are really common to not like olives, pickles,
I'll eat pickles.
anything like fermented.
No.
People don't like.
I'll eat
I love it.
pickles.
But I feel like a lot of things are fermented. I
Horseradish.
think the food that I wish would go away forever is just hype food. I get really annoyed when I feel like,
Burgers?
oh my
Oh,
gosh,
like
I want to have quinoa.
Asian Mexican like combo.
Oh, I can
yeah.
only. Oh, you don't eat kimchi? Oh my gosh. So like when people like the
Is
whole
it the food you don't want or the hype?
the hype.
Yeah, because
So does
it's
that
like
automatically make the
most
food
people
taste
probably
bad?
don't actually like it. They
Yeah,
just like
the other
picture
day.
of it that
Okay,
they
whatever.
take.
I was in Europe
Sushi.
and we went to this one coffee place and they had a pistachio coffee and Grace was like, I have to try it. It was $38
No.
for this. Oh, but it's only but pistachio, like all this stuff, and I'm like,
Freshly milked
and
pistachios.
and she had it, and then she's like, oh my gosh, it's the best coffee I've ever had in my life.
I could see Grace
I
doing
can
that.
taste the pistachio. Oh my gosh, this must be from Nigeria. Like all this stuff. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, there's no way you like that. I just know it in my
Dude
spirit.
who goes
I
to
know
the
it.
coffee shop regularly staring at her like,
It's ridiculous.
I'll have what she's.
It's like, yeah, she just got a regular
So
coffee.
then we were at Starbucks 2 days ago and they have pistachio coffee. I'm like, order it. I just, no. I'm like, order it.
The same.
I promise you, this was Friday night
Order
before
it.
prayer. I said,
You
order
better
it.
like it.
This is, wait, look at that. $4.99. Order it, and you better like it.
I bet they use the same syrup.
She ordered it the next day, though, and I'm like, yeah. Like, it was just so the hype thing just
hype.
really turns me off because I'm just like, you just want to say those words. I love you, Grace.
Like a donut burger.
But it's like, oh, I want him. I want to try this thing. Or like when everyone now just loves Korean food.
Yeah.
Like, and no one used to go, and then like
mad.
everyone's like, oh, I want to have Thai. Let's have Thai. And I'm like,
You're like, I've been eating Thai.
I do love Thai
since
food though.
of course you do. See, like,
Because I had a nanny. Or at least it wasn't in Europe.
you know, you said Chile, but you know he really meant
Chile.
England.
England.
Like,
she was.
he was just trying to
And she
be,
flew on
like,
an umbrella.
Like,
I
with
don't
the
know. It
people.
might have been from Chile.
She was all the hype.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather be really talented or really smart?
Talented.
I've
Yeah.
been about this one for a while because at first
You
I
would
said,
struggle.
Well, because he goes, I
Because
am really
He's
smart
like,
already.
I'm very smart and I'm very talented.
So,
Is it because
both.
you're both?
and my nanny always told me.
I'm gonna
My name's
eject-
Michael.
Pull the cord. You're like, I gotta go.
Call your nanny. She can come pick you up.
I wonder if she's still alive. I don't know.
Tito.
You don't even keep up.
What was her name? What was her name?
Raised
Her
you,
name was
Michael.
Teresa.
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 You sure she wasn't Puerto Rican?
Did you call her Mommy Teresa?
I just called her Teresa. I don't remember.
Teresa.
Look, he looks in the
There's
distance.
a show where Teresa's like
I
a
miss you, Teresa.
queen
She's like in the
pin.
clouds. I see your face.
She's like a drug lord.
Really?
Teresa.
That sounds like that.
She's like Teresa
Teresa.
Mendoza. Was it
She
her?
had sketchy family members.
There you go.
We won't go any further.
Smart or talented? Because I feel like I'd want to be.
Both.
I'd want to choose smart.
Right. Because that's the right answer.
I'm gonna wait.
Because I feel like
but
really
I take a
smart
minute.
people would just like make money off of the really talented people. 'Cause
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
that's
true.
how society works, anyways. Like, just like make a business idea and then be rich and then not have to work anymore.
Yeah.
Have it work for you. Have your brain work for you, like all these big people do. But then I'm like,
Those big people.
but then I don't know if this is too spiritual. But then I was reading Ecclesiastes this morning.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
was like,
Quiet.
Oh my gosh.
and I'm like, if I was so smart,
Tell me
then
if
I
this
feel like
is
I'd be
too
depressed all the
spiritual.
time because
Yeah.
then nothing would be enjoyable. And
I'm like really smart.
And organized. She's smart and organized and doesn't like hype.
It's all really fun.
you and Solomon would get along.
I know. He's probably gorgeous.
No, he'd try to
A
marry her.
little. That's
I'd
true.
probably say yes.
Honestly, who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't?
You'd be set.
He'd like
true.
talk you into it because he's so
all
wise.
set,
You'd be
right?
like, actually, I should be with you.
He's like, I already have 1,000.
He's like,
how
I
about
have
1,000
a castle over here that you can live in.
Why not? I'll join.
okay.
Back to your Ecclesiastes, smart,
so
sad.
I think maybe being more talented would be more fun
Okay.
than being smart.
Is that your
Because if you're
final
really
answer?
smart, then everyone's gonna treat you like, you got it all.
Oh, you're so smart.
Yeah.
I don't
I feel like
that'll
that's how
be
we
Here's a smart
treat
shit.
guy walking
talented
in the
people
room.
too, though.
That's what I thought. I'm like, being talented
you're right,
as well.
yeah.
People are like, oh, wow, you're just so good at it. So I think you're hated either way.
Darned
Haters
if you
gonna
do,
hate. That's what
darned
I
if you
always
don't.
say.
That's, yep, that's
Ian
Kaimana's
Taylor.
quote. Haters gonna
From
hate.
The Office.
Quote me on this.
9 months pregnant, haters gonna hate.
Yeah, I feel like I would also choose to be really talented because I feel like I'm pretty smart and it's whatever. So
It's not fun.
And I do think
lonely
really
up
like
here.
brilliant people, like sometimes it's like, all right, you're not that like fun to be around.
Yeah.
Because it is like seriously, you end up being like torn. They're like really like you can't say a joke without them being like, actually, I read this, and you're like, okay, brother,
Go talk to your nanny.
calm down. I know you have a nanny.
Go eat some
but like,
olives.
I don't care. But being talented too, it's just, and this is not like, for every talented person watching this, but sometimes I'm like, talented people don't really have to work hard.
Yeah.
Like they just walk in, they don't even try to sing
I'm the
good.
talent. I'm
They
here.
just do it. Yeah. Or like, it's just like, oh yeah, they asked
we
me to
done here?
dance. Like, and it's
Yeah.
just, all right, I'm done. Like, I don't know, versus the rest of us were like shoveling like a pit of dirt and like whatever. Like that's our contribution is like, I don't know, I just got to start this fire like for the kids. And then
We
everyone
could live another
like,
day.
It's this Les Miserables. Like,
I'm like,
one day more.
Find another trash can to light on fire to keep my family alive.
She does all the shoulder.
I was like,
The seven dwarves.
I was imagining like by the loading dock. Like, I don't know, maybe for encounter day.
Shiloh's freezing. He's like, Mommy, when am I gonna get warmth again?
I wish I had Teresa to help me.
Teresa.
I'm scared. Anna's ears are like blasting.
I'm scared for Anna.
I know.
It's all Michael. He's just gonna be distorted.
No one can beat Michael in a game of.
Laughing loud.
All right.
Wow.
That's my answer.
What was yours again?
Very heartfelt answer.
It wasn't supposed to be.
Talented. But I don't know if I should.
I feel like I'd be lonely either way. Lonely at the top.
It's because
Any mountain.
you're reading Ecclesiastes.
yes.
You need to get out. Ecclesiastes gets
my
you too much in your
gosh.
feels.
I mean, you have Kara.
Chapter
She's really
2.
talented.
Stop there. You know what? We encourage people to
Skip
read the
to
word,
the
but you need to
end.
take a break. You need to take a break.
Just skip to the end.
Ecclesiastes. I read it and I don't, for real, I read it, I don't get depressed. I feel
understand- you
encouraged.
understand me, Solomon.
It makes me feel like I'm not alone in this world.
Someone organized wrote it.
I don't know how to, but I genuinely, I'm just like, oh, you'll be in my heart. Like I feel so seen reading. It's funny. Wow. Anyways, I'd rather be really talented and I pick like really good looking. That's my talent. Like,
What
like
would
just
your
gorgeous,
talent
like
be?
drop there, like
Beautiful
everyone's
forever.
passing out.
Right.
Like just
Wow.
perfect. See, even the idea of it, like everyone would just
Wow.
be like, just
I
get
can
pretty.
see it now.
Pretty people get treated differently. I don't
They
care who
do.
you are, and it's just like
We really
amazing.
do.
Like I'm shoveling dirt, and I don't want to.
Dirt on my face.
She said, we really do. No one voted you.
It is hard.
It's so hard being me.
Shoveling your pretty dirt. in the
Shoveling that
snow.
dirt. Did we all pick talented?
Yeah,
I
That's
guess.
the right answer.
Yeah.
Talented.
Maybe we're just like really smart but have no talent.
Maybe.
I think so.
I think we're talentless, smart people. Anyways, now that we began the mature part of the conversation, we're gonna try to get a little bit more serious.
Darn it.
And just kind of be just a little bit open up our lives. Michael and Jody will be sharing little aspects of the story and of their of their journey in just life and love, quote unquote, and dating and relationships and all that good stuff. But first and foremost, I want to ask you guys a question. Everybody needs to answer this question. Okay, what is your goal in life? It could be like a thesis statement. It doesn't have to just be like one.
My goal.
Whatever, yeah, but you could like, what is your goal in life?
Okay.
Are you
I'll go.
meditating on it?
My goal in life is silence. No.
Oh, wow.
My goal in life, this is very like off the cuff answer. I think my goal in life is to just, I don't know, be like exactly what, like, I feel like I'm like, it's like an SAT. It's like, because like, I'm like, I want to just be to people what Christ was, but I feel like that's very like Mary, mother of Jesus, like super holier than thou answer. But honestly, I'm like, I want to be a light for God. I'm like, I just want people to be like, see me and be like, wow, that person, what is it about her? I want to know God more. And I feel like that's because of the missionary in me. I'm like, I just want to walk into a room and be like, hey,
Yeah.
what do you need? All right, let's pray. So I think my goal in life is to just be as much like Jesus as I can be, even if it means not even like, what is that quote? Like, be Jesus, and then if you can, like, use words.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's my goal. It's like to just embody the love of Christ as much as I can.
Amen. It's good.
Amen.
What's your goal in life?
I would say definitely, going along the same vein of just like reaching people, and that like I make lifelong followers of Christ.
Yeah.
And that my legacy is that my children like love Christ and want to serve him so much that they want that. That like whatever people's life goal is, that they would change that for God. So I would say anything that like aligns with that, like whatever's along the way, like I'll do it, like type thing. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say my goal is to just serve Jesus for the rest of my life, because I'm like, oh, I'm serving him now, but I'm like, what if I live till like 90? You know, will I really be serving him at 90? Like, you know, there's so much that could happen to me now at 90 that like I could be busted and whatever. But my goal would be to just serve him my whole life, and then obviously now that I have kids, huge goal is that they serve him. Huge goal keeps me up at night that I'm like, because I think
Pressure's
like,
on.
Wow.
right, like I don't want to go to heaven and they don't. So it's hard.
Yeah.
That's
Yikes. I know all the parents in the room.
It's like, we get it.
She should stay in there.
Actually,
just
don't come out. I'm not ready.
You're in timeout.
I think it's obviously, you know, whatever. I think people as being Christians, they expect the churchy answer, but I think if anyone just kind of knows us, that is a genuine answer.
Yes.
You know, or even
It
being a
very much
parent,
is, yeah.
it's a genuine answer, or maybe seeing our lives. But I want to kind of notice one thing, or not one of you said marriage is my goal, or marriage was the goal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Still
And
not.
marriage is ultimate. And I think that sometimes in church, while we don't blatantly say it, there is this underlined purpose that it's just like my purpose in life is to get married.
Oh, yeah.
And it's seen by the way people pursue certain things. And I think sometimes the church has gotten it wrong, because from the stage, you know, if you're not married, we push you to get married.
Yeah.
And then once you are married, we immediately go, okay, now you don't have to do anything anymore because you're married. You
Right.
don't have to serve. You don't have to come to
Yeah.
church. You could take breaks. And statistically speaking, which when I talk about in a sermon coming up soon, it's really affecting the church body big
Yeah.
time. So, so marriage shouldn't be our goal. But I want to be able to talk about that a little bit. So talk to us about how much it can be easy to feel like that needs to be your goal as a Christian.
I feel like, everything you said is just like nail on the head. I remember like giving my life to Christ and reading what the word would say about marriage. And then just like as a little high schooler think, wow, this is nothing what I feel like everyone talks about, or what I've seen, or what is portrayed in like movies and stuff. And so I feel like I think it's so easy to like see like culture's vision for what marriage is, and how it's just so glamorized as like them chasing to be whole in what being loved and to feel loved is. And for us to assume that that was God's call for us.
Yeah.
Like that's what culture like wants. Like, oh yeah, like I should get married and have kids. Like that's like people, like I have young people who look up to me and they're like, oh, you have like your life all together. You have a wife and kids and you're only whatever age you are. And I'm like, I got a lot more to me than, I mean, like no discredit, but I'm like, I am much more than just being a married man. Like,
Right. / having a wife and kids, you're like, probably like, a lot of times you're like, my life is way messier than it was before I had a wife and kids.
Yeah, and if anything, even the Bible says like it's gonna be harder for you, and so that doesn't discredit the fact that like being married has like added like so much to my life.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like I'm a father of 2 beautiful children, have an amazing woman of God as my wife, but I think it is definitely a distorted view from like just like us like wanting to be loved and thinking that that is where we get like that fulfillment from.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't really grow up like in the church, so like yes and no. Like I grew up Catholic, and that is a whole other ballgame in itself. But like I didn't really understand like marriage and like how important it can be portrayed in the church. I more so saw it like in society and in like movies and media, where it was like the girl who had it all together always was married and always had like the perfect family or whatever. Like you see it in like movies like Beethoven, where they have the dog, the family, the kids, like it's all like cute. And so the villain is usually like single and
That's
like
true.
a problem. Yeah, she literally was single. It's just random. But
It must be evil then.
so I feel like getting saved and then coming to the church, I feel like almost everyone has that same societal mindset. So I thought it's not really anything even spiritual. It's just like we're hardwired that way. We're we're led to believe you don't have it all until you have it all. And having it all means
this.
white picket fence,
Right.
marriage,
Yeah.
husband, wife, kids, dog, or
Right.
cat, if you're into that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I
So-
think we obviously were in high school around the same time. And we went to a great church. It was this one, but like, I do think as a whole, like the Christian body and just even American, Christianity is like, I think it was like in the best motives, but it was kind of like, hey, you guys just need to like, control your urges and like get it together until you can get married. And it was sort of like in
Then
high
you
school,
have a
like
license.
it was like everything you feel is good and it's awesome and it's great just when you're married. So then, like as a 16-year-old feeling lots of things, you're like, okay, so let me go get married today. You know, like if life's going to be fixed and I'm going to be able to like
That's true.
express everything
There's so
I
many
feel.
things wrong with that. Yeah.
Right, which isn't true because even in marriage, it requires a lot of sexual integrity
And self-control.
controlling of your body and controlling of your eyes and controlling whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that it was just sort of the way that the church, when we were younger especially, knew how to like help kids not get pregnant. I don't know. But then
It's like a Band-Aid. Like,
Right.
this
like,
is the
kinda
best way
like,
to get them to
but
stop.
marriage is good, so just wait. But
Yeah.
Or like a cork, and then you
right.
can't pull
and
the
then,
cork
but a
until-
lot of kids do. Then they kind of, or not just kids, but everyone's like, kind of like, I just can't wait any longer. Versus like, like teaching the Bible and how like our
Yeah.
whole life we should be self-controlled.
Right.
We
Yeah.
should always be working on our self-control. And I don't know. I felt like when we were younger, a lot of it was like, okay, then let me just go find a spouse because
Right.
I'm feeling all types of stuff.
Yeah.
And I need somewhere to like
A
put all
release,
these feelings.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do think, just society, even probably before that, though, people did get married right out of high school.
Yeah.
And then it worked out fine because people didn't divorce.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, after Generation X, then people are like, yeah, it's
This
not
is
a
an
big deal to
option?
divorce.
You're like, we could just get
It's not a big deal
divorced.
to whatever. So at that point, then now, while people are waiting longer to get married, they're also divorced by the time they're 24, 25. So the
Right.
first
Yeah.
marriage is a throwaway marriage.
Yeah.
Because of that, and the second marriage, maybe we'll see what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
it's crazy how like just with society and with life, it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, let me just do it. Oh, I can just divorce now. So there's just so many, I don't know, complications along the way that
Yeah.
the church needs to be very, very specific and really, really help people walk the path to have self-control
Right.
their whole life, and then also to deal with brokenness that they have. Because if you don't deal with it before marriage, it's going to make
Oh,
your marriage
yeah.
worse.
Yeah. Yep.
Or it may destroy your marriage.
Yeah.
And I think that's where all the things that you're feeling, all the things that are coming out, like literally will rear its evil head in marriage or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brings me to a second question. How long should you wait to start dating once you become a Christian? Is there a time? 2 months, 3 months,
man.
3 weeks, 1 day, 10 years?
I mean, forever.
I feel,
No,
don't do it.
I don't know. Personal experience, I think I waited like at least like a year because I feel like,
After like giving your life to Jesus,
yeah,
like
I didn't. Well, my story's a
You're
little
like, let me
different
look at the timeline.
because the guy that brought me to church was the guy that I was dating. So I would say after we broke up, I waited like a year to like get back
On
out
purpose?
there. Yeah, purposely. Because I was like, I don't think it'd be smart to rush into anything. Because then am I really rushing into something out of like, oh, this is God's will? Or am I just doing it because I'm like, I'm bored or I experienced now what it's like to have someone. So now I just need to go back at it. And then 3, like, what about things that I've gone through in this relationship? It obviously didn't work out and there was reasons to it. So if I just go to the next one, you don't like, I feel like you need to have time to process things. Like there's, like in the way that you mourn something, you have to kind of like mourn that relationship and look at things and be like, okay, that wasn't good. That really wasn't good. And this wasn't good either. So I don't know. I waited like a year and that was like
how old were you?
for around that time.
Yeah.
I was like early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah. We started dating when I was like 18 and the relationship was very off and on until like around 21, 22.
I feel like for this question, like it's like there's so many like factors and facets to it. So like this even kind of goes back to even just like your first question about marriage itself. like before, like, because obviously, yes, I'm married now. And one, I feel like biblically there was one verse that I remember reading that I always felt like, okay, this is the standard I want to like live up to. And it was in 1 Timothy 3:6-7. It's just like qualifications of overseers. And I was like, okay, well, overseer, what is that? Like, I guess someone just like called to like lead the church in some way, shape, or form. Ministry, if you would. And so it says he must not be a recent convert, or he may become conceited and fall under the same judgment as the devil. He must also have a good reputation with outsiders, so he will not fall into disgrace or into the devil's trap. And so I feel like with that speaks to like the maturity of like growing in Christ and understanding that your wholeness is you as one person and not that you were 50% of a whole when you need to go look for someone to fill that void.
Yeah.
And with that, when I first like started liking Kara, we both felt a very heavy call to finish what was in front of us before we even began our relationship.
Yeah.
And that was that we felt called to MLC at the time, and we felt called to finish before we began our relationship. It was like, okay, we need to finish this, and then this can start, because this is going to be in its own way a ministry that could flourish or not need to be at all. And so that had its own layers in like what you said, like, what is your goal? I was like, well, my goal was I need to finish MLC, and I felt called to missions. I said, if anyone's going to come in line in my life with me, it has to be someone that has that same goal. And so those were things I brought to God, and I said, okay, Lord, if this is a good time, then one, she needs to be called to missions. And if it's for you, let it grow. And if it's not, let it die. And so those were honest conversations we had when we confronted our feelings. And we knew that like that had to be honored in what God had called us to in that moment before dating was even a question. And so that was like, well, after me being saved. But I think as far as the timeline, it just really depends on like, where's your maturity at? Because you could be saved 6 years and are you mature? Where are your motives?
I think one of the big things that people have to deal with too, like we come from such a highly sexually charged society.
Yeah.
So when we come to God and we realize God doesn't want sex from us, it's confusing.
Yeah.
Everything is very transactional in the world. So it's like, what, you want nothing from us? And we start learning about him and his love and how it's unconditional. And then at that point you start dealing with your own stuff. So like everyone has such different sexual baggage, emotional baggage that we have to deal with before we are ready to be in a relationship. And I think that's the kind of stuff that will make a relationship or break a relationship. Like if you've dealt with it, you know your parameters, you know your boundaries, you know what you're doing, then you could be ready to go. But if you've been saved for 6 years and you still have yet to confess that you had a same-sex relationship that lasted 3 years that no one ever knows about.
It is more maturity.
It creeps up.
I feel like your whole thing about waiting, even though you're a baby Christian, like was very mature, because I think especially this happens to girls, but girls who weren't saved and come into the church, like sometimes they get so enamored with like seeing men of God. Even like this, even the shady men of God. Like even the ones,
it
like
all
that
looks
if you
good.
ask us, we're
It
like,
all looks
no,
good.
not him. He's still growing. You know, like even those kind, like they're just like, wow, they don't hit me. They don't want to, do anything bad to me. Like, and it's like the basics of like how to treat a human, but like they weren't necessarily treated like that out in the world. So I do see a lot of time girls, especially, come into the church and then they do, it's like the making out at the altar call. Like you're like, I feel so much, and you must be my soulmate. There's just a lot of feelings that go into it. And when you're a baby Christian, like you don't have the maturity to be like, oh, these feelings I have are supposed to go to God. And so sometimes it does end up not working out great because they do find someone, and typically in that scenario, it typically doesn't work out great.
Sad
Yeah,
face.
I kind of actually wanted to hit on something you said and how you said like bringing that, what you said about like bringing it to God, in that like you need to learn to bring those emotions to Him before you try finding it in a relationship. For me personally, like my struggle with like sexual brokenness came from like having same-sex attraction, from like just perversion in my life, being disposed to pornography early, being molested, and all those things just kind of cultivated in my life, having then dealt with like the person in my life that happened to, and then healing through that, like going through counseling through that, and that being something that like there was a turning of a page, and so that there was definitely wholeness that I felt in Christ after that, but then there was still like the aftermath that I had to deal with, and that was like my own addiction that like I had to deal with, because like I can't just blame that on like, oh, this happened to me, that's why I'm addicted to porn. Like, no, like I'm addicted to porn because I'm still choosing to go to porn.
Yeah.
And so like, when going back to your question again, if you have like, when should you start dating? Like if you have sin in your life, like you just need to be at a place in your maturity, in your walk with Christ, that you know you can be free on your own and not drag someone else in that mess with you. Like you want to bring your healed parts to people, not pouring your broken pieces on them all the time.
Right.
And so there was a point in time where I remember asking God, like, God, show me why I feel this way, why I run to this. And I remember seeing this image of like, this sexualized image of like this man holding me. And I was like, but it wasn't sexual in nature. I was just like, why do I desire that?
Yeah.
And it was like, and I felt like this like warmth of protection, and like God was just revealing to me like, that is not the protection that I have for you.
Wow.
I was like, you need to come to me as your protector.
Santo.
Amen.
Because when I protect you, then you can learn how to be a protector for your household. And
Jeez.
I just got
That's
chills.
like-
that is a liberating
wild.
word.
yes, like,
Yeah.
oh gosh,
and
like,
only God can do that. Only God can do that. Wow.
yeah. And so God really like that was huge healing for me. And if
Amen.
I would have dealt with that before like our relationship, man, like I would have saved a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I would have saved a lot of heartache.
Wow.
Meeting adjourned.
Yeah, we're kind of running out of time, so I'm gonna try to skip some of this stuff. How many times can a couple break up and get back together before it gets toxic? 1, 2, or 3?
I hate that we have
Those
to
are-
discuss that. I'm like, but I feel like if we want to put a number, I'm like,
We do.
once. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if you do that once, okay, and then you get back together, that one time I'm like, all right, we can, I feel like we've all actually had experiences similar to that, where it's like that one time, but I feel like anything further than that, why? Like, what's the
Yeah.
point? Because there's something like that obviously is wrong if you're breaking up more than once. Like the person that I had started dating when I first got saved, like it was off and on so much. And it was always like either like me learning to grow and like be strong, and that person realizing, oh wow, she doesn't need me, but I still want her. And then me kind of running back to that and being weak in my faith and in my own like flesh, where I'm like, oh, this person wants me again. Okay, cool. Then we can make it work. I feel like there's this point that just becomes like a lack of trust, because I'm like, oh, are you going to leave again, or are you going to stay? So I feel like once is good, not even good, but like one and done kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like
one
if
is
you
the
break up
max.
once and then you get back together, then it has to be like for sure, like, all right, this is it. Like, this is what needs to work. If you got to let this go, for example, if there's sin, hey, let that go. Like, you need to stop watching porn. You need to get healing from that. You need to get healed from that.
Yeah.
Are we good there? Because if not, then like it's over kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anything more than that,
I feel like, more than once, it's
Yeah.
just, we got to just cut it. I do think, yes, if you break up once and there's legitimate differences, or, it's just kind of like, hey, I don't, we're not going the same direction. Like, if you're not breaking up because the relationship is so horribly toxic, but you're kind of just like, I don't know, I don't know, like if it's a non-toxic reason,
Yeah.
it's not just like we fight so much and we hit each other and so maybe we'll break up. Like, if it's not that, but it's just like, I don't know, maybe like I'm moving to Pennsylvania and you're moving to Texas and I don't know if we can do this, and then later you're like, we can, then maybe, but I don't even know what qualifies as a breakup anymore, because it's like a
Wow.
yo-yo.
Wow.
Like, it's like a,
Yeah.
it's
That's
funny,
true.
the other day, like someone was like, oh, did they break up? And it was like, yeah, they're like, someone was like, they did their first breakup. And I was laughing because I was
Oh
like,
my
is this how we
goodness.
say it now? Like,
What?
we say the first. And
true,
real,
though.
but
It's a
I'm
soft
too old
break.
for this.
It's
a soft
true
break.
though,
true.
but here's the thing: texting has ruined lives.
Well, right.
FaceTime
Yeah.
and
So
texting
available.
both. So like
Yeah.
long, I can't do
Yeah.
long
Oh, we're
distance. Yeah, you
talking.
can because you could FaceTime the whole time.
Yeah.
And then also too, you could be broken up, but you could still literally text them 24/7,
emotionally
and there's
close.
this
And no
emotional
one knows,
connection,
and yeah.
and nobody knows. So like, yeah, like the whole not breaking up. I don't know. I don't really know how to define it.
Yeah.
But it is kind of, I guess, separate. We can put God over here and Satan over here and sex issues. Guys, girls, or whatever. Like if someone breaks up with you, they're obviously not that into you. That is it. Like you can pretend and you can make up excuses, but if they wanted you, they would be with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
They don't want to be with you,
That's
they're
it.
not. And that is the
Lesson
bottom line.
learned.
That's it.
We always swear that we're the exception, but we don't understand. I'm like, no, like if someone wants to be in with a relationship, it's like long distance doesn't matter, hard times don't matter, because you just, you argue,
Yeah.
you take a beat, you discuss, you fight, but you don't ever break up. Like there's no need to break up unless he doesn't want you or you don't want him. And throwing words like breaking up or divorce or whatever, that just shouldn't be in a vocabulary. The minute
Yeah.
those things are in your
Absolutely
vocabulary
not.
relationship, the relationship is toxic
Yeah.
and it sends to doom. I know I say that and people are like, I will prove you wrong. Like I
Yeah.
wish you had that much angst towards God as you do right now towards what I'm saying.
Jesus.
Right.
Because they don't. That is like, I will prove you. And I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, like,
Fine. You're
Why do
gonna
you think it's
suffer.
okay to just throw that word around.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
But when you get down to brass tacks, like it is a lot of times, especially for, I don't know, I only really know Christian relationships, been saved forever, but like a lot of times there's literally just the like, well, I've put this many years into it, so am I really gonna try to find someone else? And it becomes this like, yes, find someone else.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't just get back together with this man. He literally dumped you 3 times. Like,
Yeah.
but then,
Familiarity
there's
breeds contempt.
there's just
Ooh.
times where it's like, well, I don't know, like, it's been 4 years, and I'm like, no, I know, but like, it's okay. I don't know. I have a different 4 years with someone else. Like,
Yeah.
I just, sometimes people are just, again, because it's like marriage is the goal, and it's like,
Right.
well, it's
So that's
kind of
like-
like, can I get married to him if we get back
Yeah. 'Cause
Because
together?
then what are you running to at that point?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, are you running to the safety of relationship or a concept of feeling whole
Yeah.
all
All the
over again?
above.
have you
All of it.
have you ever been in that back and forth relationship?
Yeah.
Have you ever been? No.
Oh, no.
Have you ever been a back and forth?
We just took a break once, but that was it.
Like,
Not back and forth though.
So did you break up?
no, but there's like I know
Just
there's a
that.
difference. Like
Yeah, it
I've been
wasn't-
in a back and forth relationship and it is horrendous.
Yeah.
No, I have
It is
not been.
absolutely, you are blind.
It's
And here's the
exhausting.
thing, with God, anyone can change. So
Right,
like,
so
and
it's like
also
they
God
change.
answers your prayers.
Yes.
So, and also with God, you can be in a relationship and not have sin.
Yes.
So no sin. God is a good God. God answers
Amen.
prayers. So yes, we're there like,
Right, you're like,
writing
we're
our
good.
name on our little prayer cards and give them back to me, Jesus. And it's just,
He's
it's
back.
crazy.
No, he's gone. No, he's back.
God
No, he's
has
gone.
it, dancing
It's
on
like
your
hokey
promise.
pokey.
And you literally,
And you get a return label.
yeah. It is
not
literally the
today.
most, it is so hard.
Like
Ouch.
crawling in
It
my
is
skin
so,
all over again.
Because
You're
it is,
feeling it.
because I
You're
promise
feeling
you,
it.
okay, and this is like, I've gone through so many things in my life, and I've gone through death of loved ones, and I would rather go through that than to go through the rejection of a breakup.
I believe you.
man.
No,
And I
believe
say
you.
that,
tough.
and like, it is, I'm ashamed to say it. Like, I'm not proud of that statement, but like, I know what it's like when someone's life ends and there's a solace there versus
closure.
the back and
Right.
forth and back and
There
forth
is
and
no
thinking
solace there.
and
Can't
move
hoping,
on.
Yeah.
and it's all lies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to come to the point that you're like, I need to love myself and I need to love God and trust that He has better for me. It's really hard.
Super.
It's really hard, even when there's no sin. So like you
Right.
put that with other people. When there's sin, you're like, oh no,
I
no.
think we get it.
Yeah.
But it is very, very hard and it is very, very satanic, like to move through. So like anyone out there, it's really tough, but
Feel
you. Yeah.
it is possible.
Yes.
It is possible to be like, no, like God
Right.
has more for me, and trust me. The insecurity that you have in those relationships, because that's the problem. You keep going back and forth, and it's just insecurity
Yeah,
all the
there's no
time,
trust.
paranoia
No
all the
trust.
time, and it will never build.
Yeah.
The paranoia is not like the other side of the being alone is so much better and knowing than being paranoid.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just like, man, I'm alone, but I'm not losing my mind,
Hallelujah.
stalking someone, wondering where they're at, or just feeling like something's gonna
Yeah.
happen out of every corner.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
Yeah.
like I can honestly say that it is really hard. You can end it.
That's right.
You'll be a better person.
That's
okay,
right.
couple more questions and then we're done. How did you decide marriage was the logical step in your relationship?
For me,
You're like, I still haven't. Just kidding.
Kara told
ask
me.
me
Kara
later.
told me time.
Kara put it on my to-do.
No, Kara was never
Kara
that
asked
kind
me.
of person. I feel like
Yeah, I
women
don't
always
see
get
her
that
being
rap
like
of being
that.
like, oh yeah, I knew he was gonna propose and I knew everything and I planned it. And oh, the day I proposed,
I
wore
proposed
this,
to myself.
I wore this ball gown because I knew it was gonna be the day my nails were done. No, I had that woman completely fooled the day that I
I
proposed
could
to
see you
her.
fooling Kara though. Like she's not paranoid
But,
or
like,
trying to
how
investigate
did you
her.
decide though?
Okay,
More
but-
than
but yeah,
the
steps back,
hype.
steps back, yeah, steps back.
Ask
Yeah.
me the proposal story, my
Yeah.
girl.
And so I made $1 million.
Because I did. Cranes.
We flew in on a private
1,000
jet.
cranes, not $1 million. Anyways, Proverbs 16:9. In their human hearts, in their hearts, human plan their steps, but the Lord establishes their steps. There was just a day where I remember just seeking counsel from pastors and close Christian godly men, and I was like thinking about my future, and I was like, I want her in my future. Like,
Yeah,
like you
amen.
said, like you want someone like.
Yep.
There was just certainty.
right, 'cause you
So,
wanted her.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
wanted her, so I said I let her know that she was in my plans for the future.
want you,
Yeah.
So I remember I was leaving on a mission trip. I said, when I come back, I'm saving up for a ring to give
That's
to
so
you.
cute. When I come back,
Yeah.
you're mine.
Yeah, when I come
When I
back,
come back, I will
so
start
cute.
saving.
I'm getting you.
That's what every girl wants to
Amen.
hear.
I
Isn't that
know.
cute?
I know.
Yeah. And
back and
That's what
forth,
she
we're
told
like-
with Angel. Angel, I'm just
When I come back, I'm just like,
You're saving up for a ring.
You're saving
when I come back, you better have a ring.
we dated 4 years before I got married. Trust me.
Like there was no
There was no
ultimatums
me
like
asking
that.
for anything.
Yeah. So I was just like, all right, I'm going to get you a ring, just letting you know.
Amen.
TTYL.
But you were already in a relationship with her.
Yeah,
you had
we
already
were-
done ministry with her. You had already
Yeah.
like,
I'd seen her in
you're already
the
friends.
hard times, the good times. Yeah, we were friends. Yeah. And
I think too that your paths were still running parallel. Like you
Yeah.
both wanted to do missions.
yeah, we both
And,
wanted to do
like,
missions. We were both seeking God.
You both wanted
after
twins.
MLC. Yeah,
Right
we
at the
both-
beginning.
If you don't give me twins,
It hurts.
I'm taking the ring back.
When I get back, there better be twins, a ring.
Firstborns.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
How did I decide?
How did you decide marriage was a logical step in your relationship? You said you dated 4 years?
Yeah, we dated 4 years. It was pretty early on for me that I had that thought. It really was just like wow, I could see myself spending the rest of my life with this person. And it was just the fact of that he complimented me so well in the sense that, and this is like, it's going to sound like super like I'm like a broken like little like porcelain doll, but I'm like, he just didn't hurt me. He didn't make me
Yeah.
feel in any way like rejected, and like there was no back and forth. There was no like,
Amen.
ooh, I don't know if we should do this. I'll see. Like we got to take a break. Or he was just constant. He was like, I'm here in it to win it. Like let's do this. And there was just this like same agreement. Like we were very like one mind about everything. Like, yeah, I want to do, like ministry for the rest of my life, because missions was not actually at all in my radar at the time. So it wasn't like Michael where he was like, I'm meant to be a missionary and I'm going to go save souls. I was just like, I just want to love Jesus, and however way that looks, like,
Yeah.
so there was never that. And that kind of led to just other things later on in our relationship where we had to have a crossroads. But before all that, like, it was just very consistently, like, he was there and present and intentional. Like, he never once made me feel like I was just another quota or some type of, like, prize to be had, or, like, he was, like, trying to just get his girl, and, like, like, what do the kids say? Like, just, like, cop, like,
I don't know what the
bag,
kids
like,
say.
what do they say now?
Bag the diamond.
Cop the
I'm
bag.
scared.
Or, I don't know.
Bag the babe?
I know
Yeah, I
that's
don't
not
know.
what the kids say.
Trying
I don't
to
know
cop
what
a
they
baddie.
say.
I don't
I'm
know
around
what
them
they
all the
say.
time. I don't know what
Get
they
the
say.
bag.
Get the bag or whatever.
Oh man.
If there's
Good thing
any
this is a
young
voice
people,
cast.
Steal
whatever.
her heart.
I don't know.
Love her unconditionally.
Let me ask you this. You were together 4 years. I feel like sometimes people too are like, kind of back to what he was saying, like, well, because, I'm burning all this stuff, so I gotta get married right away. Are you thankful for those 4 years that you had to
my gosh,
get to
yeah.
know him? And
Yeah, I'm thankful for those 4 years because it was never this like this doubt. Like there was never this doubt of like, is this it? You know, does he just want me for this? Because he was also very patient on his end. So I'm like, all right, we're both okay, like growing and learning. And like there was just so much that we grew and learned separately too, where it was like we didn't get married and it was this like rush into anything. I mean, also I'm like, I have a past, so it wasn't like I was like, I can't wait. I'm like, I know what's ahead. It's fine. Like, I know that that's like terrible to say, but it's like.
No, but sometimes people are the opposite
all
because I
right.
know what it is. I need to have it now.
Yeah, in my mind, I was like, I could wait.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's also like God restoring me and showing me
Amen. What's
there's going to
important.
be something better.
Yeah.
Like,
Amen.
it's not going to be what you think. It's going to be better. So I just always had that belief. But we know each other very well, and I'm thankful for those 4 years.
That's awesome.
Okay, on this last question, what was the best advice you were given from married couples within the church? And I'll expand it, not just or just best dating advice or marriage advice or whatever to kind of get you to the place. If you were to narrow down, like this one awesome piece of advice that just kind of helped me along the way.
I mean, people always say like marry your best friend. So I mean, like me and Kara literally.
So you couldn't marry Angel, so you decided.
Yeah, I was like,
I got that one.
What's
Kara.
next? Number 2 on the list. No,
Kara, no, he loves you.
no,
Number
Kara,
one.
you were always top of the list. So literally, I was
Aw.
like, marry your best friend.
Yeah.
So we became like so close, and then just staying in community with others, like have other like couple friends, like
Yeah.
Johnny Angel, like they're our best friends now, like together. And so like that has helped all of us through such pivotal times in our
Yeah.
relationships and then in our engagements and now in our marriages. So
Yeah.
pray together, never go to bed angry, all that mushy gushy Hallmark
taking
stuff.
notes, people, because he's listing a lot.
Like there's a
He's
reason why
dropping
people have been
bombs
saying
right
it,
now.
and those are the people who've stayed married.
That's
so
true. That's
Truth.
true.
the married advice from like I remember being at
Get it out. Get it out.
I want to hear the
That's
worst
scary.
advice.
Funny.
What's the worst advice you've ever
it was at my bachelor
Okay.
party on the beach. And
Okay,
this guy,
what was
we
the worst
asked-
advice?
We asked this guy to take our picture, and then Festus was like, "Hey, this guy's getting married this week. Do you have any advice for him?" He's like, "Well, I've been married 3 times, so you don't want any of my advice."
That's true.
But those are the people that people are asking advice.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, that's true.
So I'm like, don't ask your
Yeah,
uncle who's
right.
on his 4th marriage and has another girlfriend. Like,
true.
Right. Yeah.
go to the people of God who like are where you
Yeah.
want to be in life, who
true.
have the same goals you have in life, love Jesus,
Yeah.
like have a family, like whatever,
Right.
and like ask them, hey, how'd you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
that's
coffee with me,
Don't
have
ask
lunch
a
with
donkey
me.
how to be a horse.
Yeah.
Right,
Wow.
exactly.
Wow.
Ooh, come on.
Because they're not
Even
gonna
though
know.
donkeys are great, we love you donkeys, and you're
Yes.
stronger than horses in
Yes.
certain ways. But
Yeah.
Can you ask a half
But
a
still,
horse?
he can't. What about
mule.
a mule?
a mule.
They can't have babies.
Oh, barren woman.
Yeah.
Poor mules.
Okay, mules can't have babies.
Um,
Best advice was it?
Best advice, and
Best-
then I want to hear you can say worst advice first.
Worst advice?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's from like family members.
Okay,
and
that's
it's just,
It's the worst.
Yeah, like family members are trifling. But yeah, like I had cousins like tell me like, you know, are you sure like you want to do this? Because if it's not like, you know, if he's not like super like into you all the time and like, you know, is trying with you, because I'd be like, oh no, like we don't really struggle like that. And she's like, wait, so he's not trying to like get with you? Like, and I'm like, no. She's like, I don't know if it's for you.
I don't know if
She's
I'd
like,
stick
red
around.
So that was like
flag.
a
It's
big
red
bad advice.
flag.
Like if he doesn't
Yeah.
really want you, like if he's not really showing how much he wants you, then I don't
That's
know if
so,
that's
like,
right for you. And I'm like, that's
fleshly,
so
yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was probably like the worst advice was like, he's just not really into you. If he's not really trying, like, you know, and I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Hopefully the
So
audience
true.
understands
Yeah,
what she's picking up what she's putting down.
Yeah.
What I'm
She's
saying
very
is that
cryptic.
if he's not trying to get in my pants, he's not really into me.
There we go. Back
Yeah,
to TVMA.
there we go. Thank you.
TVMA.
Thank
That
you.
is TVMA, Jody.
That was the worst advice I got. If he's not trying to get in my pants, then does
But
he
it was
really
opposite
care?
because Angel loved you so much that he
didn't
wouldn't
wanna-
dare.
Yeah, he didn't even want to know what
Waiting
my
for the
pants
pants.
were. He
Yeah.
said,
Can't
Yes,
even look
don't
at your
even-
pants.
We don't need those pants.
Only a blouse. He's
No.
like, I
nothing.
only see the face.
He said, what pants? I don't
Put your
know.
one piece on.
I can't go to the beach with Jody.
What's the best advice?
The best advice was in premarital counseling, and it was like, well, there was 2 things. The first thing was like while we're dating, Pastor Marcos was like, you guys need to tell on yourselves. And he said, don't tell on yourselves to your friends. He said, you need to find somebody who is like a mentor or someone that you're afraid to talk to. He was like, someone that you're afraid to know something that you're going through. He said, that's who you need to tell on yourself to. He's like, don't go to, you know, Michael or Karen and be like, this is what we're struggling with.
Right.
Because you have no fear.
Yeah.
But you need to go to someone and be like, oh, Pastor so-and-so or leader so-and-so, this is where I'm at, and this is like the accountability I need. So that was a really like good one where it's like, don't just go to anybody, like go to somebody that you're afraid to tell on yourself.
And that's
to.
like in dating relationships too, not...
Yes.
Yeah, not marriage.
like-
That was just a dating thing.
Yeah,
It's like
that's important. That
the
people are like, oh,
second-
when I get married, then I will stop this
No.
stuff. I will whatever.
It needs to start
No.
before that.
Oh my
It's like
goodness.
pregame.
I feel like you need, honestly, with intermarriage, I think you need more barriers.
Yes.
Way more.
Because
Yeah.
it's more,
I
you
tell
have more to
myself
lose.
more now.
You do have way more to
Yeah.
lose.
Way
And
more to
there's-
lose,
the
and
temptations are different.
it's also
They want
like
different
way more
consequences.
accountability. You're not just dragging yourself down, your wife and your children. Like God is extra
whole
mad.
legacy.
It's
Yeah.
more sins.
Yeah.
Angel and I still meet with Pastor Marcos, like, and we still like seek accountability from them. It's not like we're gonna be married 5-10 years and be like, we made it. Like, you never make it.
Yeah.
Like, the devil doesn't rest. So if I take a break,
Yeah.
then like I lose. And then
Yeah.
the other advice was just keep dating. Like, don't stop dating.
Oh.
Like, don't be like, okay, we're married.
Yeah.
That's it. See ya. Like,
Yeah.
there should be this,
That's
you know,
good.
once a month, once a week, whatever you can figure out in your schedule to be like, hey, we're going on a date.
Yeah.
Make time for each other.
I gotta plan
Because,
my date soon.
all right, there you go. There's your reminder.
Any final thoughts before we close out? You don't have to. I mean, we've said a lot of stuff.
We did. Just
like a
listen to
long
listen to the
podcast.
podcast.
A lot
And
of
if you
thoughts.
didn't get it, watch it again. And then if you're still struggling, watch it again and watch it again.
And then run to the Lord
Oh,
and everything.
Amen.
amen. Thank you for joining us for season 4, episode 1. If you love this, if you like this, click subscribe so it'll be reminded whenever it comes on, because we will premiere every Tuesday at midnight, every Wednesday at midnight. It's Wednesday at midnight. I get confused. Wednesday at
whenever we
midnight.
want it to
That's
be.
when it will start. And then also, if you love this, if you share it, go ahead and share it, post it on social media, because we are back on social media now. So make sure, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and see you next week.